Knowledge is king. Knowledge is king. Knowledge is king. Knowledge is king.
Hey Cadillac fans, Daniel here, and if you have a third-gen Cadillac CTS as well as maybe other Cadillacs of the same era, your gloss black trim may be failing like mine is. I thought I was immune, but it started last year and it's been accelerating quickly. We're going to talk about what's going on here and possible ways to fix it. On my car, I'm going to show you the OEM way, so keep watching. Hey everyone, as you know, I've brought you lots of Cadillac how-tos and solutions, and I wanted to quickly plug my new cup holder solution. This is a little plug and you get 6 of them, and they replace those bubbles in your cup holder on your CTS and ELR that tend to keep falling out because there's no cheap solution, and now I've got a cheap solution for you. So be sure to check out this video here. It'll tell you all about them and how you can order some. But now let's talk about this window trim. So what is going on here? Well, sometimes when manufacturers make stuff, they don't always know how well it's going to hold up as hard as they try. And this is essentially a clear coat failure from what I can tell, because it's still black under there, but it's peeling off this upper layer. A lot of people started reporting this problem. There are a lot of 2014s with this problem, but there are also a lot of 2014s on the market. And I thought my car was immune to it, but it did start last year and it accelerated quickly. With every wash, these areas of peeling grew and grew. However, they were only happening initially on this side of the car. The car is a garage queen, except for 6 months when I renovated this garage and it sat outside, and guess what? This is the sunny side. The sun beats down on it. And I live in California. It's not that hot here, but the sun has started this problem. It's even eaten away at my vinyl wrap that I've put on the chrome sections, and it really does make a difference. And it's also a good point of why vinyl wrap is not a long-term solution. Expect maybe 2 years out of your vinyl wrap to keep it looking nice. The other side of the car was holding up really well, including the vinyl wrap, but this year I do have some small indications of the clear coat failing. So we're gonna attack this and bring this car back to the way it should look, and I'm gonna tell you about a couple other solutions. So the first thing you might do as a simple solution is black vinyl wrap. You can do that. However, you may end up seeing some of that clear coat peeled texture under the wrap because there is a layer change and vinyl wrap is pretty thin. Some people get really bad failure over here and they cover that vinyl wrap and it just doesn't look good. Now, thicker wraps, maybe a carbon fiber, like thicker vinyl might cover it, but I don't think it's gonna help. There is black PPF these days, and you may consider that. It's a little harder to work with. Your next option is to have all these black trims repainted completely. Now, a body shop should be able to do it on the door. I know that one person has done it, and it's turned out pretty good. But in this episode, I'm going to show you how to replace it with an OEM piece, hopefully one that doesn't fail anytime soon. I don't know if they've corrected the solution, but at least we're going to restart. So this is the original GM part. I'll have all the part numbers for all 4 doors down below. This is about $100 from GM parts wholesalers like GM Parts Direct, World Parts Direct, but unfortunately it comes in a big box. It covers the entire size of this thing. It's actually pretty big, so you end up paying quite a bit of shipping. So you might as well just go to the dealer. Over the counter, it's $150, and some dealers are actually gonna work with you on the price. Just ask for the mechanic's discount or something and see if they help you out. It's pretty simple. It's just some plastic, and on the back side, it's got some double-sided tape ready to go, but there is a little disassembly required when you're installing this, and I'm going to show you that right now. Replacing this may seem easy because I said it was just double-sided tape, but it doesn't come off until you take off the lower trim. Thankfully, that's only held on with a couple of screws. Let me show you how that's done. So right under this piece of rubber right here, you're gonna find a Phillips head screw. Remove that screw, and then we'll get the other one on the other end. All right, now that we got those 2 screws off the trim, it just lifts right up. It's kind of in there with friction. Now you can probably get it with your fingers. It'll start to come up. And if you need any help, just use a plastic trim tool. Careful not to bend it. It is metal, but it's pretty stiff. All right, and that's it. That comes off like that. You'll notice that there is a plastic pin on that end. You'll wanna make sure that you lift this section straight up. And now that's free, and so is our exterior trim piece. So let's remove that. I don't know how hard that's gonna be. It's the first time I'm doing this. All right, so now I've got a plastic trim tool. This is gonna help pry up the glued areas. You know, use whatever you need to. You're probably gonna throw away that piece, so it doesn't matter so much if you damage it, but you wanna be careful around your car either way. Now on the piece that I bought, there are a couple of small connections, and I'm gonna look out for those when removing this. So just down here, there is sort of a little hook. I might need a little screwdriver to undo that tab to get it to release. You can pull away this rubber. There is a little clip here. This clip can be reinserted into the rubber, the head can, and then it presses back in there. We'll do that in a minute. But under here, I can see that little clip right there. Let's see if we can do anything with the screwdriver. But since the plastic's held on with the 3M tape, it may just be hard to remove. You can get the wedge between the plastic here and the metal door frame. And you can hear the tape start to separate. All right, there's that part and the plastic clip. All right, it's coming up. I'll just work it the rest of the way up. And then I broke it because I was flexing it too much, but that's okay. We're gonna throw this out anyway. In fact, get that out of the way. As with any adhesive situation, you might have better luck if you heat it up first. It makes it a little softer, more pliable. So let's try that and see if it helps. Not much of a difference, honestly. Another broken piece. All right, we're getting somewhere. Now, as I noted on the new piece, there is a mounting point here and here. This is one of those Christmas tree clips that I figured was there holding it in, not a screw. So let's get that out. So yeah, one of these things, you're probably familiar with that. And then that means there's probably one hiding right under here. So let's pop this. Yep, just barely held on, just a little rubber. And oh, there is that other piece, and no Christmas tree because it's on the back side of the rubber. That's it. That should just push right on through once we remove the adhesive. All right, we're almost done breaking the rest of the adhesive. And there it is. That's the whole thing off. Now these are the 2 points that there's little Christmas tree push-ins that held it in, no screws. But now we've got all this adhesive on here, and if you want to install things properly, we need to clean that off. So let's get started on that. Now I gotta tell you, removing this is the worst part. You probably could get away with putting the part back on. I'm just afraid that it may stick out a little bit and not sit nice and flush. And I like to try to do things right most of the time, unless it's that damn air conditioning actuator in there. So let's remove some of this. One way you can do that is, of course, heat it up, like I said, use a heat gun, get it softened up and peel it off. Or you can use an adhesive remover wheel. These you get from 3M. I'll have a link down below from Amazon. You put it on your drill and it's gonna work it off. But you gotta be really careful because if it slips and it hits something else, it could mar the finish of whatever you didn't mean to touch. But for this, I think we're gonna do okay, but yeah, we wanna be real careful not to get like this section here, and it should be fine. So I'm gonna do a little bit of heat, a little bit of peeling, see what I can do, and then I'm gonna get that eraser wheel out, and then we'll move forward. That softens it up pretty good, but it doesn't really wanna come off too easy. That's doing a pretty good job. It'll go pretty quick, probably less than 10 minutes. Now see, I was doing it like that and I didn't follow my one rule, and that is watch out for other parts. It was grinding up against this trim here, which is just chrome wrapped in gloss black vinyl, but now I definitely need to redo that vinyl. It's okay, I was planning to do it anyway, but keep the door open to minimize that from happening. All right, that makes quite a mess, I would say. Obviously, a lot of rubber dust and such, but it really made it a lot easier. This would be a nightmare without the tool. You'll need to still go in here and get out the rest, and it's mostly smooth. I mean, there's some high spots, but I got most of the thick spots, and I think that's what's important. If you want to take it another step further, there is 3M adhesive remover. I'll try a little bit of that on here and see how that goes. All right, I'm pretty happy with how much we got off here. I don't think I need to remove any more, but the last step, of course, before you stick anything to any panel, 70% IPA, isopropyl alcohol, and just clean it off, and then we'll install that part. All right, we got our new part here. I'm going to remove all the 3M tape backing, get rid of all that. I don't think I need to worry about anything here with this. So note our clip there, and of course our two over here, and let's get it in place. Remember, there is that rubber seal back here you gotta be careful of. We'll get that in a second. Okay, that seems, you wanna make sure it's fully aligned with the rubber and such before you push it down all the way, or even see if I can get this push pin aligned. And it seems to line up pretty nicely in all the spots where it's supposed to go in. Now with anything with double-sided tape, you want to apply pressure. If you don't apply pressure, it's not going to stick as well. So try to just hold it there for about a minute at a time on about 3 or 4 spots. Now before we put our lower trim piece back in, like I said, my vinyl's pretty bad, so I'm going to wrap this real quick and then we'll install it. All right, we got this all wrapped up, and we just need to install this. Remember, it's easy. We're just gonna put it into place and put the 2 screws on either side. And don't forget to get this section here all put in. There we go. That is pushed in all the way, holding it in. All right guys, it's actually been a few days and I wanted to close out this video a different way than I originally planned. That's because I made a mistake. There's something wrong here, and I'm out here in the sun because that's how I found out. After parking the car in the sun for a few hours while I went to work, I came back and I opened my driver's side door, and when I did, it didn't open smoothly. There was a little bit of a click, and that's because the piece I installed was slightly overlaying the driver's door. Yeah. So the sun had apparently heated it up. It either shifted slightly because that adhesive is sort of soft, maybe it expanded a bit and it got in the way. I kind of worked it away and now it doesn't interfere, but I can definitely see how I messed up. Just like putting on a decal, it's really tough to do it just right, especially one this big. And I see issues. We've got lifting here. This whole section is basically a millimeter or 2 lower than it should be, I would say. Slight gap here, and over here it's not quite right with the weather stripping. So I'm gonna have to do this again, and I'm gonna leave it in the sun this time, let that adhesive get nice and soft and work it off, and hopefully I don't break it. Otherwise I gotta buy a new one. But if I get it off in one piece, some new 3M tape, and I'll try to do better at putting it on. Now, I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to take care of it, but I wanted to let you know because sometimes it's not just a how-to, it's a how not to, and it's an important mistake that I don't want you to make because it could cost you. If you appreciated this video, be sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing, hit the bell to be notified of future content. Thank you so much for watching the Jet Fuel channel. We'll see you next time.